Good morning and welcome to this year's What's New in Vault 2027. Today we are joined by Irvin Hayes Jr. from Autodesk. We also have Jason Cordemanch from the KETIV Vault team and Jose Perez Clara from the KETIV Vault team. I'm Phil Steiger. I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation. Irvin, I'm going to pass it over to you for a moment. Oh,
You want to talk about this one first?
yes, I'll go ahead and talk now. With AI coming into 2027, it's a great time to upgrade your Vault to the latest Vault version. So why not upgrade it to the cloud? This is an ebook that walks you through the soft and hard cost of hosting your own Vault, including unforeseen risks you might not have considered. If you guys would like this ebook, please just send me the ebook in the chat and we'll email it to you. Perfect. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Phil. And thanks to the KETIV team again for inviting me to discuss the Vault 2027 release and what's new there. My name is Irvin Hayes Jr. I am the Principal Product Manager here at Autodesk on the Vault product line. I've been working with Vault for 20 plus years now, and so I know it from when it was a very infancy stage up until this point. So hopefully I've met some of you either in person, online, maybe at Autodesk University. But again, welcome, and I'm glad that you all can join us today and talk about the 2027 release of the product. So there is a Q&A section in the meeting. So if you have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A question section window. We'll have people trying to answer them live, and then we'll have an open Q&A question and answer at the end, where I'll answer some of your questions live as well at that point. So let's jump into it. Everything in Vault 2027 aligns with three core themes. The first theme is workflow efficiency. We want to reduce friction and eliminate unnecessary steps in everyday work. Second is collaboration. So collaboration, we want to make sure it's easier for more people to review, understand, and act on engineering data. And the third is connectivity, connecting Vault seamlessly with downstream systems and cloud services. And you'll see these themes show up consistently throughout what we do in our releases, not only this year, but in the future. So let's jump into what these things mean to the 2027 release. So let's start off with workflow efficiency. Engineering teams spend an enormous amount of time searching for information, answering questions, and performing repetitive tasks. Vault 2027 focuses on removing that overhead so users can stay focused on design and decision making. One of our biggest additions in Vault 2027 is the Autodesk Assistant in Vault. This is an AI-powered assistant, but directly into the Vault experience. It allows users to search for data and help automate tasks and gain insights to all using natural language and all without leaving the Vault client. This is the foundational step towards AI-driven productivity across the Vault platform, helping users to work faster with fewer interruptions and better performance. First, let's look at intelligent help and guidance. Instead of leaving Vault to search for documentation or ask a colleague, users can simply ask questions like, how do I use copy design? Or what are the steps to a lifecycle state change? Autodesk Assistant delivers in-context guidance right where the user is working. The results is lower training overhead, faster onboarding, and users who feel confident using the Vault's full capabilities. You can see here in this illustration, it's asking a very simple question. How do I do copy design? It will provide you with the steps. It can provide you with the links. If it doesn't provide you with the links, ask it to provide you with links to the source of its response. But this again gets you faster information and assistance when it comes to using the product as a whole. The Auto Assistant also transforms how users find and understand their data. Users can ask natural language questions like, show me outdated drawings in the current project folder, or are there any drawings that need to be updated? All users can run complex queries using regex expressions to find data compliance within a project, resulting in a detailed report of results so informed decisions can be made quickly. Instead of navigating complex filters or writing queries, users can simply ask questions and the Vault surfaces the answers. This makes data discovery dramatically faster, especially in large Vault environments. So basically what we're showing you here is, again, getting these complex searches in there, which we could not do through the UI in the past. You can do it right through the Autodesk Assistant, and it's going to provide you with the output that it found. And you can then, again, make some decisions on what you want to do next based on that output. I'm going to let this finish going through. And by the way, also you can ask it to output this information into an HTML report, which you can save and keep for later review. So the Autodesk Assistant transforms how users find, and this is what we're saying, it actually helps you find data faster in many different ways. And I'm just showing you one very complex way of searching for data using regex expressions. So beyond search and help, Autodesk Assistant can also automate some tasks. Users can use commands like update all my drawings in this project or create items for an assembly and associated files. These tasks run without requiring manual UI steps, saving time and reducing chance of errors, especially for repetitively high volume questions or operations. So what we're showing you is actually a new feature. Before, a user would have to manually find drawings that are outdated. They would have to open up those drawings in Inventor, save them, and check them back in. With this new feature, the Autodesk Assistant will open up the drawing, update it, and check it back in without the user ever having to go out to Inventor to do this manually. As you can see, it updated 2 drawings instantaneously, a lot faster than a user would do it manually, saving you, again, a lot of time in performing these types of operations. Moving beyond AI, Vault continues to improve core workflows. With copy design, property updates are often happen later and they can be missed. Vault introduces the ability to edit the specific properties during the copy design process. Users can update multiple properties at once, including copy and paste from Excel, ensuring designs start clean and correct from the moment they're copied. Another common pain point is ensuring PDFs are attached to items. Vault now automatically attaches Vault's generated PDFs during the assign and update item process, just like DWGs and IDWs. This removes the manual steps, preventing the missing documentation and ensuring downstream teams always receive the complete data package instead of missing important documentation. Vault visual clarity matters, so especially when it comes to large Vault. So Vault introduces a high-resolution resizable thumbnail feature, making it easier to distinguish between similar models or drawings without opening each file. This reduces the clicks, speeds up decisions, and helps users focus on the task at hand. So now you can choose multiple sizes from small to extra large icons and seeing the details visually instead of trying to get them out open visually in like a view and window. Also, Vault streamlines everyday data handling. When copying property values, Vault now copies only the selected values, not the headers or the labels. This applies for files, items, and change orders. The result is a cleaner data transfer into tools like Excel or email without manual cleanup. So select the values you want in the grid, copy them, paste them into your whatever the application you want to paste them into, and it's a lot cleaner method than what you had to do before. Next is a key improvement in how Vault handles physical properties from Inventor. Previously, properties such as mass, volume, area weren't extracted by default. requiring customized properties and additional setup. In Vault 2027, Vault now automatically extracts physical properties directly from Inventor. This includes the area, the mass, and the volumes for parts and assemblies. This data is immediately available in Vault for search, reporting, and downstream use without customization. The result is more reliable data, less setup effort, and better visibility into critical engineering information. Opening multiple files is now significantly faster. Users can select multiple files, even with different extensions, and open them all at once with a single action. For large file sets, this dramatically reduces clicks and speeds up the common review and edit workflows. Data standard workflows are now more flexible. Vault adds a none option to the numbering scheme, allowing users to skip numbering when it's not needed. This provides consistent behavior across workflows and removes the unnecessary friction for teams with different processes. When managing many background jobs, visibility is critical. Vault now displays the server or the workgroup information directly in the job queue, making it easier to identify where jobs originated from and troubleshoot the issues if necessary. For power users, keyboard efficiency matters. Vault adds a Control-Shift-F shortcut to open the Find panel and enables fast incremental filtering using typed text. This allows users to navigate large lists quickly and minimum mouse interaction. So as you can see, with those things in the workflow efficiency category or theme, a lot of those had icons or what you saw as far as images in the bottom of each of those slides that show you that these are ideas that are coming directly from you all, the user. This is where it comes very important for you to bring us those ideas through our ideas board and let us know what you're thinking. It's sometimes the small features that we put into place that helps you out a lot better in the long run, or helps your users out a lot better in the long run. Sometimes those little small fixes have a big impact. So let's move over and look at collaboration and how Vault makes it easier for everyone involved in the product lifecycle. In the thin client, the property panel is now resizable and persistent. Users can see long property values without hovering over scrolling, and in the interface remembers their preferences. Combined with improved caching, this makes reviewing data faster and far less frustrating. Reviewing multi-sheet drawings is now significantly faster. New navigation controls in the Vault viewer allow users to move through sheets quickly, reducing repetitive clicks and improving review productivity by up to 30%, as stated here. So let's jump over to connectivity, our final theme. So connecting Vault to the broader digital thread. So connecting Vault to Fusion Manage with a seamless and efficient workflows. The Vault connector bridges Vault Professional with Fusion Manage without third-party middleware. It enables automated item and BOM synchronization, attachment handling, and property mappings, seamlessly connecting an on-premise PDM Vault with our cloud PDM Fusion Manage. We're going to cover some of these things in the future slides as we walk through it. We're going to talk about the Fusion Manage panel, the configuration, what BOM item and synchronization looks like, and some of the change order workflows that happens in Fusion Manage and how those affect and trigger different actions inside of the Vault client. So let's look at this. Setting up Vault connector is pretty simple. An administrator will go into the AWS console. They will launch the global settings and then go in and assign or enable the Vault connector and assign it a Autodesk ID with license to Vault Professional to act as the ID or account that does the communications between Vault and Fusion Manage. Once that's configured, every Vault can have its own connection. So in your system, if you have multiple Vaults, again, this has to be configured per Vault, but easily you can go into the connection settings, put in the Fusion Manage tenant, And then you want to start mapping the items workspace in Fusion Manage to the Vault properties that you're currently in. We have a default set of mappings that we really probably recommend that you start from. So you can hit the use defaults, we'll populate those up for you. But if you have specific properties that you also want to send over, this is where you start mapping those properties to from Vault to Fusion Manage so that you can get even more additional data into Fusion Manage during the synchronization process. Attachments play a big part of this as well. So not only are we sending the Vault items, the bombs, but you can send over attachments. These could be visualization attachments, drawing representation attachments, or third-party attachments such as maybe you want to send over an Excel file or some other file format. You can configure those direct attachments to the items in Vault to be sent over to Fusion Manage. The Fusion Manage panel now is something that's inside of Vault. The key here with the Fusion Manage panel is keeping that Vault client user right where they are, right in the Vault client without having to leave the Vault client for information. So what you see here is built into the Vault client is as you're toggling between items or you're toggling between files, we can show you what the equivalent information exists in Fusion Manage for that particular item. So you can navigate through the item itself. You can tell the item to go to the Vault workspace or that selection in the Vault workspace, and you can move through the item structure inside of Fusion Manage. You can also look at the Fusion Manage change orders associated to the item and move the Fusion Manage change orders through its workflows directly within the Vault client, again without ever leaving the Vault client to do those through the Fusion Manage interface. The Fusion Manage workflow also affects the Vault workflows, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. But again, the key here is you don't have to change interfaces. You have all the information right there in front of you in the Vault client where you can continue on through the path or through the workflow. So let's do a quick overview of the workflow and what it looks like. So the initial upload of the engineering data. So a user is checking in an Inventor assembly along with its drawings, and they're currently in the release state. During the process of putting it into the release state, the DWIFs and the PDFs are created for the appropriate documents. The user assigns those particular files to items, and then the PDFs get linked to those items appropriately. And then what happens is the user can now do a manual synchronization to Fusion Manage. They're not ready to release it, but Fusion Manage needs the data, so the user will right-click on that item, say synchronize to Fusion Manage, and then all that information is sent over to Fusion Manage, again, synchronizing the items, the attachments, as well as creating the bill of materials inside of Fusion Manage. The next one is pretty much the same process, but where users checking in the assembly, the third-party files are then created. They're assigning it to an item inside of Vault. And this time it's a transition of the workflow. So the user transitioned the item inside of Vault to release state, and an automatic transition or triggers happen with the Vault connector, which sends the information automatically to Fusion Manage. The user does not have to manually do this. It just happens automatically in the background. Again, all that information is then sent to Fusion Manage, and then they're used, and then you can continue on with the Fusion Manage process. Earlier, I talked about the change order workflow. So what happens when a user is using change orders inside of Fusion Manage and you want to affect what's happening inside of Vault? So here what we're illustrating is that we have an item inside of Vault that's associated with a part, and it's already in the release state. So we create the Fusion Manage change order and we link it to the Fusion Manage item that's also associated to the Vault item. We upload new files and details inside of Fusion Manage that's associated to that particular change order. And then we transition the change order to a state like the perform change state. This triggers the Vault connector to now look at what happened in Fusion Manage, and then changes the lifecycle state of the file and the item inside of Fusion Manage, inside of Vault automatically. So again, no user interaction, having to go into the Vault client. This is all done and triggered automatically. So that's all about the Vault connector workflows and what we're doing with our Fusion Manage integration. So let's move on to a last area, which is security enhancements. We know it's very important in this day and age that we be as secure as we can as far as a product is concerned. So we took some time and we enabled some support for important key security configurations in the environment. One of those is FIPS mode. FIPS mode is an operating system feature that enables some security at the operating system level. In previous releases, Vault did not work appropriately when FIPS was turned on. So now we actually have Vault 2027 working appropriately, and it's supported in that version of the product. SQL communications encryption. This is another important one where people are concerned about the conversations or the communications that's happening between the Vault server and SQL server. Today it is not encrypted, but if you need this mechanism, you can actually enable SQL communications encryption, and Vault will automatically start communicating to SQL in the encrypted method. Therefore, your transfer of data is now encrypted between the Vault server and the SQL server. Last but not least, SQL database encryption at rest. So the databases as they sit on the server are not encrypted. You can enable SQL database encryption, and Vault supports that encryption method as well. More details of these information and how they are configured and supported is inside of the 2027 help. So if you need more information, I would say please jump into the help documentation for more information on those particular features and how we support them. Last but not least, make your voice heard. It's very important, as I stated earlier, a lot of the features that we implement are coming directly from you, the user. You can participate in helping us drive the direction of Vault and its features by participating in our communities. One of those communities is the Vault Ideas. Many of those features were generated or created based off of the idea that was posted. We don't promise to implement every idea that's posted, but we do look at them on a daily basis and we try and implement them in a timely manner if we can. But don't hesitate to continue to add any ideas that you come up with as you're using the product. The Vault forums, if you need help, a lot of our development team is in the forums. I'm in the forums. We try and assist you when needed if you're having some questions about how to use a particular feature or just using the product in general. And then the community itself helps each other out. Others will answer questions as well. The feedback community is where you can get early previews of what we're doing in the future. So here we'll ask you about implementations that we're considering under development, and we want your input on it. Are we actually developing in the right way? Are we solving the right problems? Are we missing anything in implementation? It's important to be a part of that community if you really want to see what's going on in the future and you want to make a difference. And then the customization forums, we have a lot of people out there who build customizations using our APIs. If you're having some difficulty with those customizations, you can ask questions in that Vault customization forum, and people who've developed and used our APIs are there to assist. So with that, I'm going to open it up for questions and see where we're at there.
We have one in the Q&A, Irvin. It's about the AI, the assistant. How secure is that AI feature? Is that local to the Vault server, or does it ping some external API on the internet?
Okay, it's a very good question. The first thing I would say is if you really want to learn more about the Autodesk Assistant and that security question, my suggestion is to go to our Autodesk.com website and look for our Trust web page. I think it is called Trust. If not, I can have the link sent to you. But let me answer the question directly here. One, the Autodesk Assistant does require a live connection to Autodesk. Our orchestration and the things that we do to process whatever you put in the prompt happens on our servers and then sent back to whatever product that has the Autodesk Assistant in it. It's not just Vault, it's also Inventor, AutoCAD, Revit, as just a few examples. We all use the same AI capabilities as far as the back end is concerned. Of course, features are specific to the product. So we understand that there are tons of AI concerns out there. Where's my data going, so on and so forth. We try to put as much information on our Autodesk.com website to answer those things. There is one place on the website that's called a transparency card. So we tell you about the content that's used and where it goes as well. So hopefully that answers your questions or leads you to that. I think River is the one that asked that question. And if you have further questions, post a question in our forum and I can get you links to those areas as well.
We have another one, Irvin. It's about if the Vault server and the SQL server are on the same server, would there be any benefit to encrypting SQL?
Okay,
And
so that's a good question. So for database encryption at rest, yes, there's still a benefit. You are securing the databases themselves, regardless of what's communicating to them. So from a security standpoint, and database encryption at rest, yes. Encryption via communications, no, there's no benefit to enabling that if they're on the same server, because they're just calling each other directly. So it's not going out on the wire, the network wire, to do any communication. So really, that would not benefit you at all, in my opinion.
I don't have any other questions in the
No other
queue.
questions. All right. Well, in that case, I don't know if we want to end here. But again, I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate you all taking some time out for your day. I appreciate KETIV always asking me to come back to you all as their users, to present our what's new information, and also we have a good relationship with KETIV. So um, they're very good supporters of all of their customers when they come to us. So if you don't have any questions, but if you are coming to Autodesk University this year, please stop by our booth on the floor. If you see me or if you come into class, please introduce yourself to me. I'd be happy to have a chat and know who you are and how you use Vault, and we can discuss anything.
I really appreciate it, Irvin. Thank you so very much for coming and doing this for us today.
My pleasure as always, Phil, and all the rest of the KETIV team online. So thank you very much.
And I want to thank everybody for attending. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.